Welcome to Love by Design, the podcast for high-achieving women who are ready to stop performing for love and start building it from truth, from alignment. Welcome back to Love by Design. My name is Joan, Nwosu, and I'm so happy to be here today. That's because I've just returned from a vacation, which was absolutely amazing. Okay, so I want to talk about long weekend because last weekend was a long weekend here in Canada, and this coming weekend is a long weekend in the UK and in the US as well. There's just something about long weekends when it comes to being in relationships or being single. And it's the weekend where everyone's posting pictures, couple photos, vacations. Like even on most vacations, you see people coupled up. You're seeing people proposing, engagements are happening, and maybe you're there sitting all alone wondering, what's wrong with me? Because being single sometimes doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels like death. It feels like something is fundamentally wrong with you, like you're being left behind while everyone else is just getting chosen and moving on with having a fabulous life. And I'm going to be honest, I've felt that way from time to time. But the truth is, yes, it does feel like death sometimes, but not because of the reason that you think. It feels like death, at least for me and for a lot of people, because something is really dying. Something is truly dying, and that is the version of you that needed someone to feel complete. That death is not the death of your heart or the death of you condemned to being alone for the rest of your life. That death is actually initiation because being single isn't a waiting period. It is a sacred passage. And that's the reframe I want to talk about today. So, we've been taught to fear aloneness, being alone, being single, because for some reason, being single meant failure and being coupled meant success. We keep getting asked the same questions. Why are you single? Are you single? When are you getting married? And what that really means is when will you finally be complete? Because society treats singleness as a problem that needs to be solved, not a state that we need to honor. We're told that you are supposed to be with someone, everybody needs someone. And if you're not, then there's something wrong with you. So it always feels urgent. It always feels like there's a clock ticking, like the biological clock is ticking. There's this societal pressure mounting. The longer you're single, the more afraid you are, the more of a reject you feel, the more of a failure you feel, right? Because it looks like everybody else is settling down and yet here you are. And so we have this FOMO feeling, the FOMO of being the last one standing, being left behind, dying alone, feeling like maybe you've missed your chance, it's too late for me now. And under all of that, we've been using relationships as an escape to avoid ourselves, to avoid sitting with our own emptiness, to avoid asking those uncomfortable questions, which are, who am I without someone validating me? Who am I when it's just me? Who am I truly just alone? So being alone doesn't just feel lonely. It feels like now you're having to face everything that you've been running from. And it can be terrifying. So, what is aloneness and what does it actually mean? Aloneness is not the same as loneliness. Aloneness is an initiation. And there's a big difference because loneliness says, I need someone to fill this void. But aloneness says, I'm learning to fill my own void. And this is what the initiation is asking you to do. It is asking you to finally face yourself fully. No more distracting yourself from your wounds. No more trying to blame someone else for your unhappiness. No one to perform for. Just you and everything that you've been avoiding that is ready to unfold, to be uncovered. When you go through this initiation process, you learn how to self-source, how to own your own happiness, how to own your own validation, your own worthiness, your own wholeness. And all the things that you've been asking your partners to give to you, you learn how to do it for yourself. So this is a learning process of learning how can I be all of that I'm seeking on the outside internally? How can I solve that for myself and become self-sufficient, self-sourcing? That way you stop outsourcing your completion and you know that you are a whole being all by yourself. It is your job. It is not somebody else's job to come and heal you, to come and complete you, to come and make you happy. No. And that is how you become sovereign, whole within yourself, and then you become available for union with another whole being. So being alone, being single is not death. It feels like death, yes, because that part of you is now dying and now it's time for the next part. So I want to talk about how solitude can actually be spiritual gold. What becomes when you stop running from yourself, from being alone, is that you finally discover who you truly are. And I know that for me, because I was always in relationships, I'd never been single for 6 months. So I never had the spaciousness to really understand who I was when I wasn't in a relationship. And I found that I am a different person. And this is the true me now. Every other version of me has always been someone who is in a relationship. So it's no longer about, oh, I'm somebody's girlfriend, I'm somebody's fiance, I'm somebody's wife. Now I really know who I am and how I can become that version of me who is the same version every single time, even when no one is watching or people are watching. I've been able to heal my wounds without using my relationships to avoid them. I've really been able to deal with all my abandonment issues that made me cling onto partnerships that were complete or misaligned. I no longer feel like I have to perform, I have to pretend, I have to hide parts of me that made me feel like I was unlovable or unworthy. I have had the time to be able to learn who I am, what I actually want, what alignment looks like for me, and what I need to say no to. So, what do you do in this alone time? So, I've already talked about healing. What you can also do with yourself is take yourself on dates, sit with yourself in silence, enjoy your own company, not how you need to behave for somebody else to feel like you're a great person to be around. In this spaciousness, raise your standards. Because when you're not desperate to connect with somebody else or to be matched or to be coupled, you stop settling because it's no longer, oh, well, half a loaf of bread is better than none. No, there's no more settling. Now you're able to truly choose from alignment and not from the fear of being alone. So yes, it is uncomfortable to be alone, but the more comfortable you are with being alone, the more magnetic you become because there's no more desperation. Now you get to be whole and you get to choose from wholeness. And people can feel that. They can feel when you need them versus when you're choosing them. And conscious partnerships can only be built from choice, never from need. So here's a critical nuance that I want to mention. There's a difference between initiation and avoidance. So the dark night, which you probably heard about, is the real initiation. It is uncomfortable, but it's super transformative. You're facing yourself, you're healing your wounds, you're becoming whole. It's hard, but you can feel the growth, you can feel the expansion. You're not running, you're integrating. The other flip side of it, which is more about avoidance, it's spiritual bypassing, where you use terminology like, I'm focusing on myself, when that just means that you're terrified of intimacy because you haven't healed your wounds. Or you say, well, I don't need anybody, I'm good. Well, that's just ego protection. That's not sovereignty. Or you're saying, I'm whole, I'm complete on my own. Yes, true, but are you available for union? Are you available? You can be whole, but still be open to union. There is a huge difference. So using self-work or inner child work, whatever, as an excuse to avoid vulnerability is not healing. It's not the initiation that I'm talking about. So a few questions that you can ask yourself is, am I healing or am I hiding? Am I becoming whole or am I building these huge walls? Am I available for love or am I closed off? Am I in initiation or am I in avoidance? Because you can be whole on your own and still be designed for partnership. You can love your solitude and still desire union. It doesn't have to be either or. And what the initiation does, which is the space of solitude, is that it prepares you for conscious partnership or divine union. It doesn't replace it. So becoming the one is not about perfection. You don't have to be fully healed. You don't have to have figured it all out. No one has. You don't have to be ready in the sense of, oh my God, I'm so perfect. I've checked all the boxes. No, it's all about wholeness from within. So you're not looking for someone to come and complete you. You're looking for someone to expand you. You're not choosing from desperation. You're choosing from sovereignty. It's not about doing the work. So what it looks like is you're healing your wounds. You're not waiting for somebody to heal them. You're building your life. You're having a great life. You're not waiting for somebody to come and take you on vacation or take you out to dinner. You're living your life. You're getting to know yourself. You're not using someone else's blueprint to define what you want or looking at social media to see who other people are dating. You are understanding more about yourself and learning what you desire and what you don't. You're learning how to self-source. So you're not outsourcing yourself. You're not waiting for somebody to come and make you happy. It's all about readiness. Not I'm ready because I'm lonely. No, it's all about I'm ready because I'm whole. I'm ready because I know who I am. I'm ready because I know what I want. I'm choosing to build my life with someone. And that is such a huge shift. So if you're single right now, I want you to stop treating it like it's a problem that needs to be solved. This is a sacred initiation, so use it. This is a death of the old you and an initiation, a rebirth of the new you. Use this period to learn about yourself. Use this period to heal yourself. Use this period to learn who you are when you're single, when you're alone, without needing somebody to validate you or somebody to fill the void or to do things for you. Do the work. Use this period to do the work and build the life that you actually want. Become sovereign and become the aligned one, because that is how you attract an aligned partner. So if last weekend you were alone during the long weekend in Canada, or this weekend in other countries, if you're alone, don't feel shame for yourself. Don't start feeling sorry for yourself. No, use this period to enjoy yourself, to understand that you're already whole, you're already enough, you are already the one. And when you become that, you're not looking for, oh, let me just find somebody to come and complete me. Let me find somebody to spend the long weekend with. No, choose you and start living from that state of wholeness where now you're choosing a partner to expand you and no longer to complete you. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. And if it stirred something in you, trust that alignment isn't a concept, it is a calling. And if you're feeling the nudge to take this work deeper, then I want you to go ahead and book your Aligned Love Assessment, where we map your patterns, reveal what's keeping you stuck, and explore your journey to aligned love. You can book your session at joannwosu.com. That's Jon. Until next time, remember, you're not here to earn love, you're here to embody it. So keep dating by design, not by default. See you next week.